Sorry, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to cough at the start, but I did. So we'll continue. Let's do my hair. Oh, tap's running. Oh no. I also had a pear, so I had my coffee, had a pear, so now I'm alright. I'm still sniffing. Got me tissues, so I'm alright. I just thought, you're probably wondering, I said, how the Nazis erased history, burn all the books in Europe, and that's where most of the history was, around Europe. Not much history was kept in other places. It wasn't just lifestyle, like most of Asia was just historical, just everywhere anyway. They didn't really get affected. I'm talking more our people that, I shouldn't really say our people, we're all a people, but more my ancestors, I suppose. Immediate ancestors, we're probably all related somehow by now, but I've been Asian before as well. And you're probably wondering, I say, the Nazis burned all the books in Europe, and they went around all the different countries, taking all the libraries and had public burnings, and some people tried to keep the books safe, and they were the Jews, and they hid them away, and of course the Nazis went and exterminated the Jews, and just about all the books got lost anyway, all destroyed. And that's basically why they tried to kill off the Jews, to get rid of history. They're all into arts and literature and stuff like that, and some survived and ended up in Hollywood making shows, and most of the literature sort of heavyweights, in film and television and theatre. Probably start out just in support groups, going through that period of the 80s when everyone was psychotic and trying to get, my psychiatrist said I need more counseling, more therapy, And they all end up telling their story probably and end up making money and end up producers, and that's how sort of Hollywood moves on, I guess. But moved on now, a lot of more black culture, more other races in there now. A lot of the sort of mob, mafia sort of people took over for a while. Scorsese and all that troupe came through. Sorry, this cough. But when I say Nazis tried to destroy history, I suppose from my perspective, I was a little Nazi, I was Oscar. My name wasn't Schindler, but that's the name they used to sort of, I'm the sort of boy that started that. I was a Nazi that started that foundation to protect the Jews after the war and all that. In a previous life. What I remember being on the fence the whole war was like you'd see the Nazis would go out to sort of this is before the war started. The Nazis would go out to sort of occupy different areas and get pushed out, like go places and they weren't sort of welcomed. Not overtly, just like probably England wasn't too bad, but the other ones, the Spanish and Greek and Italian and sort of coastal Mediterranean, sort of what other areas? Probably Netherlands, Holland, I'm not too familiar with all these countries now. They've changed a bit. So on the other side, Russia probably weren't too welcoming of the Nazis, because not Nazis. They weren't known as Nazis back then. They were just Germans. So the reason they tried to destroy history, how do I sort of put it? It didn't really have much to do with Jesus. People think it had something to do with religion. Not really. They never really. The Jews never recognized Jesus as some kind of savior or anything. They worship different beliefs, so they sort of believed in God, I suppose, but not Jesus as anyone important. The Nazis or Germans weren't really into that either. They didn't really celebrate Christmas, whereas a lot of the other little countries did, And, Christmas is sort of Scandinavian at heart. It comes from the snowy regions, and up there, Germans weren't really welcomed. They'd go there, but not really warmly welcomed to live there or anything. They're sort of pushed out after a while. So the Germans would always want to join in all these places, but always felt like they just didn't really fit in anywhere with the culture. They'd stand out and they couldn't really live there long, and then after a while they felt like they didn't really belong there, so they'd end up back in Germany in the middle, getting squashed by all these surrounding sort of countries. And it sort of, I suppose, created a pressure cooker of cultural sort of all this belief in God, belief in the the Russians are a bit Jewish at heart as well, sort of believe in God and hard work, and they celebrate Christmas, and whereas Germans didn't really sort of do much of that. They might now, but there is a reason, which I won't go into. It's sort of none of my business, really. I don't want to talk too much about religion or anything. But it's more cultural stuff, They didn't feel welcome in these other countries culturally, so they sort of took it upon themselves to try to raise the history of all these different countries. And the thing standing in their way was the Jews, because they were trying to, protect it. And so that's why they tried to destroy it and take all these books and take all these countries by force. And I suppose if they took down the economy, which was the Jewish people, then they would be able to attack the rest. And it didn't really work because they had allies. So they got defeated in the end, but all fled and took off and started other things. But yeah, I don't know what it's like for them now, whether they fit in still, but they probably do more now. But they're more, Germans are more into sort of, their beliefs are more rooted in more partying sort of people, not so serious, not so, more flamboyant. I wouldn't say violent, just not afraid to get in a punch up, whereas Jews are more quiet and studious, and Germans would be a bit more like, you dickhead, you motherfucker, or whatever. Not swearing too much, but you peasant, or whatever, and the Jews would shuffle away. And they all probably thought they were not gods, but they didn't have something above them. They were the highest power. whatever they call themselves, Third Reich, or, you know, so that's one reason why they wanted to erase history, is to repopulate these areas and try and bring their culture to these areas and try and dominate and try and oh, his cough. Thought it'd be gone by today. It might be COVID. I don't feel too bad today. But yeah, that's just the way I saw it back then, you know. Going places not feeling like I ever fitted in with the culture. I love Christmas, but we didn't celebrate it, so we were just more into sort of bopping along to music and all that sort of stuff. We had a lot of composers, and our composers were more boom, 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 sort of that sort of stuff, you know, whereas other ones were like real sad sort of stuff. Ours were more power, sort of happiness. I'm not sure who a German composer. I think Beethoven. I don't think Mozart was German, was he? What was Mozart? I can't think. Were they German? Mozart wouldn't have been English, would he? I don't know. I have to look up these things sometimes to save my brain, but I could probably try and think of it, look up the details inside my head. But no, I need to look some of these things up to cross-reference. But you know, you can look it up. So I'm a bit tired. Hope you enjoy my little rant down memory lane. But you know, a lot of that history has been lost in Europe, and now it's all really different. You know, it's like all got taken over by pornography, and which is what the Germans brought to the world, pornography. You know, liberating the world, and I suppose that's probably what Putin's trying to rub out, all that sort of American culture. He sees it as American. Really, it's probably more Nazi, you know. He's just killing his own people, isn't he? Bit silly. Anyway, that's what war is. It's suicide in a way. War, it's where you don't love yourself and you just trying to create your own self-destruction. So I live in a peaceful place. I love the world, myself, and I wish them the best as well. I wish they'd just wake up to that. Don't have to fight over petty things, you know. See you later. Megadeth. It's music. That's all.